Bills corner Christian Benford went down last night in their game against the Chiefs with what looked to be like a head or neck injury. Benford was then quickly ruled out of the game with a concussion. And the replay actually didn't look that bad. You can see DeMar Hamlin's coming in to assist on the tackle when he actually hits Benford in the head. And all of the contact is going to be primarily made at the top of Benford's helmet, so this is what we would call an axial load. Now, a hit to the top of the helmet like this is mainly going to cause our neck injuries as well as a loss of consciousness, while typically for a concussion we would see that hit to the side, front, or back of the helmet. But obviously that's not an absolute, that's just generally what we see. Obviously in this case we have a concussion with a blow to the top of the head. But one thing most people probably don't know about this is Benford's second concussion in just 1 week. After their game against the Ravens, Benford actually reported concussion-like symptoms and was diagnosed with a concussion. And you probably didn't know about this because there wasn't one specific play where he came out and was evaluated. In fact, he was even on the last defensive play of the game, which was the onside kick. And then after that, the defense never had to go back onto the field, so we don't know if that's when he had a concussion or if he just had it at some point in the game and was never evaluated. But this is really just not a good situation for Benford, having a second brain injury in just 1 week. And luckily he was able to stand up, but this is very obvious. You can see he's stumbling backwards there. And then the next shot, he's being held up and supported by his teammates and staff. Even once they get him on the cart, you can clearly see that he's just out of it. He's blankly staring, struggling to keep his eyes open, and is probably dealing with a bunch of those concussion symptoms right now. And what makes this situation really bad is that he just got over a concussion. And what we generally see is that the second concussion is worse than the first concussion. So this is a situation where we could see something like a post-concussion syndrome, which is just when your concussion symptoms last longer than several weeks or months. And obviously he had to have been cleared to return to the game, but luckily we weren't dealing with something like a second impact syndrome, which is when the brain begins to swell rapidly after a person sustains a second concussion when they have not yet recovered from the first concussion. And this would be a medical emergency where he would need to receive treatment right away, which is why it's so important that athletes tell the truth when they're reporting their symptoms so that something like this does not occur. But again, those are just kind of like the worst scenarios that we could be dealing with here. Luckily, again, he was able to get up and they got him off the field. But I really hope this is just a quick recovery and he doesn't have to deal with any post-concussion syndrome. Let me know what you think about this injury in the comments below, as well as if you've ever had a concussion before and what you had to go through. And don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, as well as check out my channel for more injury breakdowns.